My name is Jan Osborne. I'm an English professor here at Chapman University, and I'd like to welcome you to our student reading this evening for the John Fowles Center for Creative Writing Young Writers Workshop. This program would not exist without the John Fowles Center, obviously, and each year graduate students in the MFA and the MA program, they volunteer. I want you to understand this. They volunteer to work with your children in creative writing. And it's a joy to watch them meet their cadre of students, their young writers, work with them, help them learn more about creative writing, help them learn how to craft their own work. And I'm very grateful to the instructors that we have here this evening. You'll be meeting them later, but their work is all on a volunteer basis, and I hope you understand that, just as the students come here on a volunteer basis. So there's just some wonderful energy that comes together with people who want to be here, who care about writing.
Good evening. I had so much fun working with my group this year, and it was just really amazing to see, we'd give them a prompt and just to see what they can do with it. They were so creative, and it was just each week was just, they brought something new, and I was always amazed. And at first they were a little shy, didn't want to share their work out in public with their group, but eventually as the weeks went on, they were volunteering and even eager to share their work. So I'm very proud of them for that. Our first reader tonight is Jenny Espinosa.
Hi, my title of my poetry is called Inanimate Objects. Here it goes. Hard, cold floor, soft carpet, trudging through it all. An arduous effort to get you to where you're going, an exhausting pace at times. Sometimes stepping on gum or things unknown. What kind of punishment is this for? If that's not all, being thrown in a corner, dark and unappreciated, well, that's my life. Walking, running, jogging, trudging, whatever you call it, just remember, please take care of your shoes.
Our next reader is Elizabeth Lopez.
All right, so my poem is on the Picasso painting we did, and it's called In the Middle of War. In the middle of war, beauty survives. It may be weak, it may be little, but it is there. Some may claim a coincidence that it hasn't been trampled, but it is no such thing. Such a flower it shows, one must not give up hope.
Our next reader is Marlene Salas.
Hi, my poem is called She's the Hummingbird. Her humming and her silent purr, she does not soar, no, she tiptoes. Her wings extended, yet she flutters motionless. The blue sky, bright as daylight, illuminates the dreary of the dreamy night. She prances and circles in tune with the summer's folk song. You may even find a glimpse of her while she dances. A little bird sleeping on a primrose, it may appear. The sweet nectar, today is bitter, tomorrow the flower withers. Awakened by the soft touch of wheatgrass beside her, the taste of a lake nearby, the cranberry bush, red velvet, it's a bittersweet perfume she desires. The beat of her wings, enlined with the sun and the moon, the beat of her heart ignited with the two lovers. A hummingbird concealed in the dark, she awaits day and night to be discovered.
Our next speaker is Ilda Trejo.
My poem is A Place in Time. Some place in time that is written on my favorite place on a wall. It is where sweets were shared, where embarrassing secrets were shared. To be there was the reason I told my first lie, my first rebellion. The sun set so beautifully. A piece of heaven was in front of me. That place in time is now simply a place. Some place in time that is exactly what it is. Never once more will I see that sunset, that piece of heaven.
And now I'd like to introduce my colleague in our next group, Jennifer Duncan.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to say that my students were absolutely wonderful and I just had so much fun with them. I'm so impressed with them for putting in a full day at school and still showing up every Monday and working hard to write just because it's something that they like and enjoy doing. They were all so creative and very talented, and it was a pleasure to work with them. So I wish you guys the best of luck in your future endeavors, and I hope that you never stop writing. So our first reader is Hailey Haskell.
This poem is called The Apple of My Mind. I am composed of thousands of songs, maybe even millions over the years. Each song is a member of a genre, and the genres are the nationalities I'm a descendant of. My library is full of ideas and thoughts, and although each may seem small and insignificant, when joined together they form an entire collection that fills an entire memory. Still images seem to compose most of the hard drive. Friends, family, rock concerts, sunsets, the beach, just to name a few. When reminiscing, a slideshow occupies my attention, and with each image, bringing back happiness, peace, and even sometimes sorrow. The same tunes are playing on replay, seemingly unable to hit pause. I've now fast-forwarded to the now, but somehow my heart tells me to rewind.
Okay, next up we have Andrew Mandel.
I'm going to read a poem called The Flower and the Dagger. The flower means love, while the sword, it means death. The flower brings joy, the sword takes your breath. Both of these things come together by fate. One brings us gladness, the other one hate. The plant and the dagger both vary in ways. When one brings forever, the other one ends days. A flora may be a sign for good sorrow, but the feared forceful weapon, it brings no tomorrow.
Next we have Mark Mora.
Okay, I wrote this down in here because I just don't like carrying paper around to write ideas. Give me a second. Right. This is a small science fiction piece. Okay, so start. No, this is all wrong. It wasn't supposed to hurt like this. My skull buzzes, my forehead burns with the white hot heat of an overworked machine. Too much information, too much, too fast. Bad idea. This was stupid, so stupid. That's why no one ever did this, because they knew better. I feel my body tense and relax quickly, uncontrollably. It's more like I'm a guest in this vessel rather than its owner. My eyes watered with tension. Hypersensitivity overtakes me. Everything aches. Everything stings. My heartbeat is going crazy. My breathing is out of control. I scream as my jaw clatters and my legs tighten in a cramp. A seizure and a stroke fight over which one will take me. From inside my skull, my cybernetic brain, with its countless processors and fail-safes, is overloading. It's too full. It's shutting down. Violently. Wrong. I was wrong. I thought I could do it. I was sure of it. Thought I could bottle the insanity. I thought I could own all the ideas, all the knowledge. I was never very bright. I saved up my cash, got a loan from my bank. I bought a new brain, a synthetic one, the latest model, the kind used for cancer and head injury victims. kept me alive and was capable of holding almost twice the information of a normal brain. Cost a fortune getting it online from Korea. Cost a bit more convincing a surgeon to risk his license giving me the operation. I got it because I thought I can do what I now know is impossible. I thought I could learn everything. I thought I could absorb the collective capacity of human knowledge. I thought I could use a new brain to upload everything mankind has ever learned. I thought I could download the internet. A USB cord, primitive yet effective, sticking out of my temple, hooking me up to a computer like a chain. Through it, everything from poetry to world history, nuclear physics to ancient mythology, flowed in me like a water into an empty glass. In just 10 seconds, I learned more than I had in a lifetime, and I could feel it, the computer of my mind moving and working, sharp and raw like a live nerve. Had I ever known anything before that? Could I ever really comprehend anything my weak human brain before? I could close my eyes and I can imagine an atom, but I could never play it against my eyelids so perfectly it's like a projection against a movie screen. It was beautiful. Every painting, every calculus equation, every star ever given a name, every planet ever discovered. The machine, a creation of thought so strong, its only limit is our imagination, and until now, our consciousness. Were we really scholars until we shared our discoveries with everyone in the world? I don't know anymore. It's ironic. Despite everything I could find online, this is just the one thing I can't find the answer to. My brain could only take an hour of connection. Me hunched over in my chair in my apartment, staring at my screen as every perception I ever had was altered and switched. It wasn't the amount of information, not the raw code or the advanced algorithms, it was the contradictions. The brain would find one fact, absorb it as such. To it, when it found the first truth, that was all there was, but when it found something second of the same subject, something that contradicted it, that would be a mistake, and my fake brain wouldn't know what to do with itself. This happened so often that the machine just couldn't take it. Now it's in critical failure, and my blood pressure is increasing every second, and my limbs are getting locked in paralysis, and my eyes are getting out of focus, and every nerve, every sense is just screaming. I'm going mad throughout my body and mind, and I can't take it. I struggle my hand to remove the USB cord attached to my head, and I yank it out, but it's too late. The damage has been done. I slump over and then fall off my chair to the carpet, and it brushes my cheek, and it feels like someone's dragging nails on my skin. I panic, my forehead wet with beads of sweat, my skull buzzing like a hive of angry wasps. I push myself up, blinded by tears and sweat, and I slam into a wall, and my brain is heating up from working so hard. The machine doesn't know it's working with paradoxes. It's in a loop. It's doomed. I scream and try to run out of the apartment. I slam open the front door and start tearing off my shirt, thinking it'd save me from the burning heat. Outside in the hallway of my apartment complex, I can see rain fall on the streets. The last thing I will ever see. The world gets turned electric blue. Everything is turned into vague shapes made of waves and computer code. My senses are one with the machine. I rush out into the open world, too confused and frightened people who see me in agony, to the cold rain that falls like waters from God on me. I can hear the sizzle rain on my forehead. Revelations 21:6. I am Alpha and Omega. I topple onto the streets, crawl on all fours like an animal, mindless and terrified. Everything is pain, everything is gone. Seconds before I die, I remember the tale of Icarus and how he flew too close to the sun. I remember that and a million other things, except how to keep my heart beating. That was too long. I will admit, that was way too long. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Next we have Shannon Schaefer.
This was based off the Picasso painting. It's called A Flower's Well Wishes. It's a poem. Seconds tick with labored breath, and watch, as the shining blade lay waste a soul. Death arrives before time screams. Flushed poison waters the brothers you trampled on. Caress the ground with your cold skin. And with that we promise, to carry the sun's rays to your husk, and its forgiveness to your core. Lay back and we will give you sights. Spend your slipping seconds infused with color. They will run slower, so taken in with a view. Lay down, we promise to treat your enemy the same, as your humanity makes you kin. And now we will give you one last breath. Push air into the shuddering cloth you held with all your life, and dream one last dream. The planet wishes you farewell. A gust of wind tells the grass to wave goodbye, and I too wish the same.
Next, I would like to introduce my fellow instructor, Adam Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming and supporting your students. I would just like to tell my group quickly, thank you so much for sharing your voice. Writing is sometimes, it's often a vulnerable thing, and for you guys to be brave and show your creativity, it's an inspiration. So our first reader tonight will be David Juarez.
Hello, everybody. I've decided to share with you a poem. The title is Light Reveals. Torch in hand to light the way, showing horrors in great dismay. Innocence victimized, evil winning. Tragedies ignored, good people bleeding. Yet once that blood river runs dry, we assume the worst has passed us by. Except evil begets evil. It's well and alive.
Our next reader is Amanda Espinosa.
My poem is called The Necklace with My Name. It's been 5 years. It was in January. It was on a Sunday. It was the day grandmother came back. She gave me a bright red necklace, the first piece of jewelry with my name. Then came my birthday. It's been 5 years. It was in June. It was on a Saturday. It was the day my mother bought my present. She gave me a shiny cross necklace, the second piece of jewelry with my name. Then came Christmas. It's been 5 years. It was in December. It was on a Tuesday. It was the day my sister found the smallest bell ever. She gave me the bell with an ornament hook, the final piece of jewelry with my name. My grandmother's necklace broke, so I added it onto my mother's necklace. I found my sister's tiny bell, so I added it onto my grandmother's and my mother's necklace. It's been 5 years. The last of my grandmother's necklace is no longer red. My mother's cross may be rusting, and my sister's hook no longer has its bell. It's been 5 years, and I still feel the love. Since the Sunday in January, since the Saturday in June, since the Tuesday in December, the love is still as red. The love will never rust. The love will never disappear.
Our next reader is Jeffrey Cruz.
Hi. So my story is based on a story we read about the ocean and stuff, so yeah. Oh, so if I'm shaky, it's because I just came from a tennis match and I'm still adrenaline pumped right now, so yeah. It came to us this morning, a long, dark mass wrapped in a long, tattered tarp. When it washed ashore, everyone in the village circled around it. Nothing happened in our little village, nothing at all. So we did not know what we were supposed to do. The village elder, an old man in his late 70s, however, seemed to know exactly as he walked slowly to the tarp. As he walked, we stayed silent. No one dared to make a noise in his presence. The elder pointed his walking stick to the tarp and said, "Someone roll this." The villagers and I were frozen in place. "Immediately!" he screeched. Every man in the village jumped and bolted to the tarp. "Gentle now. We don't know what could be hidden inside," the elder said as the man began to unroll the tarp. The tarp was large. It was as long as 2 village men. What could be hidden inside? It was a dark gray color and was probably white before it was tossed into the ocean. The tarp had many holes poked at one end. It was as if they were there to provide oxygen, as one does when one catches a cricket. The men struggled to unwrap the tarp. It was either extremely heavy or tightly wrapped. It took more than 6 men to push the tarp as 4 men pulled at the other side. The villagers shrieked as the men finally unwrapped the tarp. Even I couldn't believe what I saw inside. It was a man, or a figure of a man. The figure was filthy. He was covered in kelp and seaweed and dirt. Starfish and hermit crabs were plastered all over his tattered clothing, or what was left of his clothing. We could not tell who or what village he was from, since his long jet-black hair covered his face. Even then, without looking at his face, we knew he was not from here. What we were surprised about was not that there was a man in front of us that came from the ocean, but that this man's chest slowly rose up and fell. Yeah.
And next we have Jennifer Tran.
This is a haiku that I wrote called Wandering Around. Wandering around in the darkest of moments, there is always hope. When I was younger, I never had a real friend. I was just alone. Watching others play, I longed for companionship, for a connection. I did not fit in. I never felt good enough, a lonely stranger. I tried and I tried, a child living a nightmare. I put on a mask. To hide my feelings, to cover the pains and scars, the judgments I faced, the criticisms, society's marionette. Just asking myself, what did I do wrong? What do I deserve this pain? Give me a reason. Unanswered prayers, just trying to get through life. I just kept waiting. Alone in a world, there's no hope, no purpose for me, nothing to live for. Then something happened, a stranger's act of kindness, just a simple smile and only 6 words. You will have a great future. Tears came down my face. A complete stranger, not knowing what I'd gone through, brought me happiness. A truly great gift that I will always cherish. I removed my mask. I came to realize there's always a reason to just keep smiling.
I want to thank my group again. You guys are amazing. And next we have my colleague, Lila Shikaka.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Lila Shikaka, and like the other instructors have said, it was an honor for me to work with your students, your children, and your friends. This is not the first time that I've taught high schoolers, but it's the first time that I'm teaching while being a student myself, pursuing my degree in creative writing. So it's such an honor to work again with these students, and I hope that my group learned from me as much as I have learned from them. So let's hear them read. Our first presenter is a student who always finished his work first, and I would always say, write another poem, write another short story, and he always would. So this is the very generous Christopher Renna.
I'm going to be reading 2 pieces of poetry. The first one is about thoughts that I have at times. Trapped, no agreement, unable to stand on the same terms, reminded continuously of mistakes already known, actions taken and the results accepted. Wait. Few options of serenity and peace, to keep sane, to stay calm, but the inability to think how to be at times. So I'll sit and think, keep my mouth shut, secretly wanting to yell. And my next poem is about the picture of Picasso that our instructors have brought in. It's called Ongoing. Questions, no answers, devastation, confusion, the ongoing of rustle and bustle. Constantly a story with an unknown end. Curiosity honestly kills the cat, with no exception to stop and pause. Look at the scene, it's a beast with claws. Mysteries, there are hints and clues. This is leaving a mark like footprints off of shoes.
And
our second presenter is a very lively and energetic person. This is the very lively Cassandra Medina.
Hi. Is it on? Okay. Sorry. Well, I wrote a poem. It's called I Remember, and we had to remove it from the poem, and this is what I got. When I ate corn dogs, when I sung Wheels on the Bus in the elevator, when I tried sushi for the first time, when I met my best friend Maddie, what I wore last Friday, and when I got rejected, when I got hurt, and when I overcame my insecurities. I remembered what I believe in, when I changed my life, why I am who I am, to always smile, to always have fun, to laugh every day, to live my life and to love myself and others, to be nice and never to take life too seriously, to never treat people mean, and to always remember that I love love.
And our third presenter is someone who's wise beyond her years. I was just mesmerized by her wisdom. This is Mirella Cornelio.
I want to start off by saying thank you for coming, and I'm going to read a poem just like Cassandra's, and it was about a poem using I Remember, and then I removed it, and this was the end result. When I was left alone, telling you to stop, begging you to listen, asking you for answers, you walking away, crying and begging, you not caring, you coming back, leaving you alone, you begging me to listen, you asking me to forgive you, me telling you it's too late, not being hurt anymore. The look of regret and sadness, walking away from you, being proud and happy for myself, doing what you did to me, to you. Thank you.
And our last presenter is someone who is very poetic, and I keep telling her that, but still she's not going to read one of her poems today, but she's going to read a short story, and this is Carla Sabinas.
Good evening, my name is Carla Sabinas, and today I will be reading a short story about a man near death entitled The Warmth. The breeze turned cold. The rain races down the side of his car. A middle-aged man sits in artificial warmth of his car. His hair is thin and gray. A cheap black watch sits on his bony wrist. His knees vigorously bounce. He becomes anxious. His eyes are drawn toward a picture on the dashboard. A young girl with hazel eyes. 2 braids drape over her shoulders, and a large smile decorates her doll-like face. The crying of his alarm brings him back to reality. He starts his car. He knows it's time for the cold and the darkness to end. All it takes is a goodbye. A tear rolled down his bony cheek. He speeds out of the empty lot. He knows that soon he will see the light, that soon the cold breeze will be cold no more. But in that moment, the moment before the light, a cold, unfamiliar darkness consumes him, a night without the moon. He can't see, he can't feel, he can't speak. He could only hear a screech, a crash, a siren, a mumbled voice, a heart fighting for life, a brain giving up, and then there was nothing. Soon the darkness falls over. He can hear a muffled beep. He can feel again the cold, not knowing where he is, where he was, nor where he was going. All he knows is the taste of the unsaid words dancing on his tongue were unpleasant. In the midst of the darkness, the young girl's face shines. He feels the warmth. It begins to grow. He musters all the strength he has left and spits out the unpleasant taste on his tongue. Goodbye. I love you. It is soft, not meant to be heard by anyone but the darkness. Soon, the beat becomes a shrill. the light and the warmth consumed him.
Thanks again to my group, and now we have our last instructor, Andrew Stebbins.
Hello everyone. I'm so excited to be here tonight and hear all of these talented students read from their work. I can't say enough awesome things about my students. They've been awesome throughout the entire semester, writing together, and they made some fun and interesting pieces. My hope is that for all of our young writers is that you keep writing. There's no real recipe when it comes for writing. You just need to read a lot and write and write and write and write and write some more. And you have to do it often. There's a great writer blooming in every one of you. And one of our great writers is the first of my group to read, Jennifer Chavez.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Chavez, and before I start reading my poem, I would just like to ask a favor from the audience. Well, one member in particular, Ms. Espinosa, do you mind if you record this for my mom? She's not here. Okay. My poem is called Baile Folclórico. Blue, green, yellow, red. So beautiful and so colorful. Baile folclórico. When I was younger, I remember seeing this particular style of dance. So captivated by the motions of their skirts, the movements of their hands. Circular motions and spinning in different directions. Blue, green, yellow, red. So beautiful and so colorful. Baile folclórico. Never would I have imagined that I would be part of this style Sorry, again. Never would I have imagined that I would be part of this style of cultural dance. My folclórico skirt. It is part of who I am now. It is part of my cultural background. I am proud of where my family comes from. Blue, green, yellow, red, so beautiful and so colorful. Baile folclórico. I am doing what I love to do, dancing in front of hundreds of people, teaching others how to dance. I am doing what I love to do, dancing with the people that I love, creating new friendships. Baile folclórico. Thank you.
All right, and our next reader is Jezreel Huerta.
Hi. My name is Jezreel Huerta, and I'm going to read about the painting of Picasso. A severed arm, a severed life. A broken knife, a broken nation. A blooming flower, a blooming peace. A clutched hand, a clutched promise.
Okay, and our next reader is Madison McBride.
Hi, my name is Madison, and mine is from the Picasso painting. It's called The Flower in the War. Even though all you see is bad, there is good. On the knife that is there is a flower growing out of it. All the fear and war, but there is a small flower growing. Through the panic and the commotion, there is something to remind you of joy and happiness.
right, now we're going to have one of our instructors back up, Eric.
We have one more reader tonight, and with the short story, here is Olivia Cheney.
Hello, my name is Olivia, and I'm going to be reading a short story called The Chinese Dagger. I suppose we should have supper first, sighed Agnes, placing a pale, slender hand against the fluttering pulse in her throat. The Chinese dagger, with its ruby-encrusted hilt, shimmered and sparkled in the late morning sun, and the crimson color matched the glistening splatters of blood on her new summer dress. The sleek weapon dated back to the Ming Dynasty, and she thought it did look rather impressive protruding from the young man's chest. "Don't be ridiculous," snapped Tabitha, next to the window with a flash of her blue eyes. "We must move the body into the back garden before we do anything. He's getting blood all over Papa's carpet." Agnes looked down at her own stained clothes in distaste and couldn't help but think this was all Tabitha's fault. It wasn't her fault that he'd liked her more than her sister with the magnificent head of blonde curls and the pale pointed face. Oh, but he was a handsome devil, Agnes thought, gazing down at him where he lay. Yes, a handsome, dark, dead devil. Across the room, Tabitha lifted her hair so the cool breeze could touch the nape of her neck. The rusty scent of blood tinged the air, and she wrinkled her nose in distaste. She gritted her tiny teeth together in fury and cast another glance at the languid Agnes across the parlor. It was her fault that he was dead. Agnes, with her honeyed voice and wicked eyes. She was the reason why, when she'd walked into the room to find his mouth on her sister's, Tabitha had snatched the knife from the mantel and shoved it through bone and flesh into his red beating heart. "Really, Tabby," drawled Agnes from her position on the divan, "I'm quite hungry, and I doubt he cares what we do with him at this moment." Tabitha's stomach gave a protesting growl. She turned her head to look out the window once more. The sunlight danced over the flowers in the garden, and their sweet scent reached her in the house. A day too beautiful to waste with such thing as a dead man on her Persian rug. Tabitha's stomach gave another rumble as she flounced from the window and daintily plucked the dagger from the dead man's chest.
And one more time, Jan Osborne. Never mind.
Yes, Jen instead of Jan. We actually do have one more fabulous young author, and Jessica Espitia will be reading a poem.
Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'll be reading a poem about frustration. Some students coming to high school like to chatter all day, should have the eagerness to learn, but choose to waste a day away. A low buzz humming behind my ear. What was that? I wasn't able to hear the answer. Classmates finishing a test. The low buzz begins again. Oh, please, give it all a rest. All knowledge going down the drain.
And now, once again, Jan Osborne.
So do you see why we have such a good time? Seriously, students. It's so much fun, and I'm going to say again that this happens on Monday night at 5:15. That is so strange. You know, school didn't just get out. They're here. It's just a beautiful experience, and students, I'm so proud of you. And if you continue writing, you will continue developing that voice. You have something to say in the world, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen for you my whole life. I really am. But I want to say also, this wouldn't happen without our instructors, so I would like to call the instructors up one last time if you would join me at the podium. And of course, Nadia. Please give them a hand. It's their work. It's their work. because of the important connection as the instructors have been teaching your students, your children this semester, there is a wonderful connection between the importance of reading and writing. And if you want to be a writer, you need to be reading everything you can get your hands on, all kinds of writing. There isn't a right kind, but developing that voice, developing that language. So I thought maybe one tiny way to say thank you to our instructors was a book. So here you go. And to Nadia, of course, our leader. Thank you very much.